How's it going, everybody? This is Brian for Pop Culture Crossing, and today we are talking about Walter Hill's 1982 buddy cop film, 48 Hours. Because this movie was released in 82, it's on the early end of the 1980s buddy cop film spectrum, yet this film is not a traditional buddy cop movie per se. It features a cop who is able to get a criminal temporarily paroled to him in order to use his expertise to find cop killers. Sadly, the unlikable characters, lack of character and tonal balance, and incredible pacing problems result in 48 Hours being a film that can and should be overlooked. The film's story features escaped prisoners who go on a rampage. Two of the victims are detectives and compatriots of Jack Cates. This sets Cates on a tailspin where he decides to seek revenge no matter the cost. In order to bolster his chances of finding the criminals, Cates has Reggie Hammond temporarily released from prison to assist him. 48 Hours does have some significant pacing problems, and first and foremost is the fact that the movie itself and the writing derails the chemistry between Cates and Hammond. As the film progresses, it seems like their chemistry is getting to a sweet spot, and it's like, you're watching it, and it's like, okay, I like where this is going. Then all of a sudden, it's interrupted out of nowhere when the two men's tempers flare and they get into a fight. And this just brings the pacing just grinding to a halt. It recovers slightly, but it's bogged down in the fact that both Cates and Hammond, and nearly every other character in the film, quite frankly, are detestable. The film's tone is a revenge tale that attempts to put a unique spin on the buddy cop subgenre. Whereas some buddy cop movies may feature one of the duo being an erratic, unhinged, or untraditional type of character, 48 Hours actually pairs the cop with a legitimate criminal. Though ostensibly innovative, this element is hindered by the fact that both characters are supremely repulsive. And this results in a dearth of character balance as the scales are decidedly tipped in a way that underscores the unlikable traits of each character. For example, Cates has a very short temper with both his girlfriend and his coworkers. His girlfriend is actually the most likable character in the movie, though she has very little screen time. She keenly states that with Cates' actions, it should come as no surprise that nobody in the police office likes him. And she even decides to move away from him. So when the film's most congenial character has a very small supporting role and actively distances herself from the movie's principal, then that's probably a good indication that you have some problems with your writing, your pace, and your tone. Hammond, on the other hand, is just so vulgar in his dialogue that he's just as obnoxious and churlish as Cates. The performances in 48 Hours are actually fairly decent from an acting standpoint. My primary critique here is that the writing is lackluster, and this affects the film's overarching pace and tone and the final product of the movie itself. That being said, for being cantankerous, brusque characters, Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy do a good job in bringing those elements to life. Nolte is great at illustrating Cates' short temper and emotional unease, while Murphy's portrayal as Hammond shows his hedonistic, arrogant character traits. Sadly, as I've mentioned, the poor writing deters Nolte and Murphy from having good on-screen interactions. And there is really no balance in the duo as both characters are decidedly horrible. James Remar and Sonny Landham portray the criminals Gantz and Billy Bear, respectively. I did not like Gantz's odd knit sweater tank top. Not only is it a very ugly textile, but it's very unique and is something that you think someone who's trying to blend into crowd and society would not wear, and that's a very distinctive piece of clothing that could probably help identify him. So that stood out to be a very weird thing to me. Nevertheless, Reimar and Landem do a great job at showing the brutality of the criminals. The cinematography in 48 Hours is good, but offers no memorable sequences or shots. There is a scene, however, where one of the characters shoots 8 bullets out of a revolver, and they're just shooting and having no regard for having to reload or anything. And this should have either been corrected while they were shooting that scene or fixed in the editing bay. Walter Hill's direction of 48 Hours is sadly undistinguished. The myriad of problems with the story and writing itself, and the impact it had on the pace, tone, and core elements of the characters reflects negatively on Hill, that he's the director and he couldn't fix that or get it back on track. As a result, this 48 Hours is mired in these problems, and it makes the final cut really feel like every element, save the acting, should have been reworked multiple times and undergone several phases of editing. In the end, 48 Hours' acting alone cannot save the movie from its countless problems. One of the most important things in a buddy-style film is to have a nice balance between the characters in the duo. Even if one is a bit rough around the edges or even unlikable, you want to have the other offset that and strike a really nice balance. But 48 Hours fails to do that, as both the characters are revolting. This results in pacing and tonal headaches as well. So if you're looking for a 1980s buddy cop style film, or even just a revenge film, you can do better than 48 Hours. So that's my take on 1982's 48 Hours. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below or across the social media channels, and we'll keep the conversation alive. Don't forget to check out my full written review at popculturecrossing.com, and to like, subscribe, and share across all of our social channels. You know the drill. And let me know what your favorite buddy cop film is and what your favorite revenge tale film is. I'm curious to hear your picks, so be sure to let me know on the social channels, and we'll keep talking about that. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.